Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
I hit the wrong button, but that's okay. People love seeing me, so it was okay that they
Yes,
saw me for a moment.
yes. And speaking of that, just a little teaser coming to our YouTube channel soon. A new video with lots of Dave's
Oh,
face.
yes, yes. The very
Yes.
cannot take a bad picture Dave, as a friend of
Yeah,
ours
it's
once said.
true. It is true, but that'll be coming soon. So make sure you are subscribed and ring that little bell so you'll get
Ding.
notifications if we are publishing videos outside of our Monday evening time slot, which
Hmm.
is now. Which is now. Welcome to the podcast, Dave.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much
Yes,
for inviting me.
yes.
Hey, I'm going to
Uh,
try something. I'm going to make sure you can still hear me, okay?
yeah,
Can you still hear me?
yes, I can still hear you.
Excellent. Well,
Yes, and
that's
since
good.
producer Todd isn't here,
How are we going to know if we're online?
I don't know, because I am not hearing. Oh, hold. I'm checking something on my side. I've got to be. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it is working. It is beautiful. It
Yeah,
is
it's
beautiful,
beautiful.
but I'm remuting it because it's about a
Echoey.
4 second delay, which my
Yeah.
brain cannot handle.
It is
Uh,
tough. If you ever want to feel like what it's like being drunk, I can't say that I've ever been drunk. I've had alcohol, but um, you get some type of audio loop and you put the loop about a half second behind and you start talking and then you start talking slower
yeah,
because it's
you're also your brain's
behind.
trying to process
Yeah,
listening to yourself.
it's very,
It
very fun.
is it is a joy. Well, before we get into this follow up, I have joined the cool kids. Dave, I cannot tell you my hat tonight, Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah,
When I'm DJing at the marathon, I would say about 75% of the trucker hats I see are Bass Pro Shop hats. On
really.
on Instagram the other day, I saw I think it was The Rock was wearing one. They are everywhere, and I realized, you know what? I have a Cabela's about a mile and a half from my house, also a Bass Pro Shop. Um, they're the same thing basically, but so I took my daughter down on Sunday, and she picked out the Hunter Orange for me,
Yeah.
which I thought was appropriate, and then I'd
Oh,
have her put this one on. We
nice.
got the Youth Pink for Isla, so we now have matching Bass Pro Shop hats.
Wow. And are they a sticker that's on there or is it
Yes,
embroidered?
they do have. They had some embroidered ones, but they did not look good, so it's screen printed on there.
Yeah, nice and
But yeah,
sharp.
check out
Good.
your last local Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's for all
Hmm,
kinds of. We have a blast there. There's so much fun stuff to look at,
very cool.
and so little stuff that I need. But with that, let us get into some follow up.
All right, what do we got today?
Well, first of all, I want to give a sincere apology because I don't believe that last week we warned everybody that FEMA was going to be alerting every device in the country with their emergency broadcast testing system
No, we did
last
not.
Wednesday, and it was about 11:18 Pacific time. And any of our Russian listeners, I heard that Russia tested their system at the same time. So I'm sorry that I did not give a heads up about that. They did it a little bit early, and it was a little surprise because I was quietly working at my desk, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden I was getting sirens around me.
We were in a meeting at work and someone
Oh,
said,
nice.
"Oh, just FYI, um, that thing is going to go off in a couple minutes." And so we all waited, and like 60 seconds later, almost every phone with a few seconds staggering. And there was one guy who it turned on like 2 minutes later. He's like, "Well, I guess I'm
Nice.
gonna die.
Yeah, what service is he using?
Everyone else is
Oh,
safe. I'm dead."
yeah, yeah. So that did happen, but something else very exciting happened last Friday, Dave. You were
Oh,
updating me with the driveway cam and everything that
yeah,
you got a delivery,
I
not
did.
DiGiorno. It
I
was
got
an
the
actual delivery.
I did. Oh, I got to get rid of my notifications. I got the new iPhone 15 Pro Max, as
Yes.
did you, and I have a case on here.
Oh.
And this case will probably be pick of the week sometime, but I'm going to do a little teaser for those of you who are kind enough to watch. Is look at this. Have you ever seen a case that does this?
Oh, I
It's got
think
a
I've
little
gotten an ad
kickstand.
on social media, the around the lens it kicks out for a kickstand.
Yeah, so you can put it horizontal
Interesting.
or you can put it vertical,
Yeah.
and it works really good.
Nice.
ESR is the case maker, I think, that made those popular, but this is a Torres case.
Oh
Somebody stole
yes,
the idea from someone
Taurus.
else.
Very nice. So the phone. Let's talk phone. What do you think so far? You were sending me pictures and stuff, testing it out over the weekend. Coming from your 13, how's the 15 feel?
Well, there are a lot of those things that I mentioned that my old phone did not have. Uh, there was the dynamic island. There was the always on display.
Yes.
Uh, I have it written down somewhere, but I'm not going to take the time
The
to look.
curved sides, the titanium,
Yeah, I
obviously
mean,
the 5x zoom, going from you were at 2x on the last one?
it was 3x on my last one.
3x.
And the USB-C port, which has proven to be very useful as I'm sitting in my chair watching television. I can charge my Nintendo Switch, I
Oh
can
yeah.
charge my iPad, and now I can charge my phone all with the same cable.
Yes,
And I'm
and you
like,
can charge other devices with your phone cable. I didn't put a link in, but there's actually a funny story. People started realizing that they would be using like a battery bank and plugging it in with
oh,
USB-C
right.
on both sides, and their phone would actually start charging the battery bank if it was lower than the phone.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, it is the USB-C is very, very nice to have.
But yeah, the one thing that I really liked today that I didn't have on my 13 Pro Max was the active, what do you
Action
call it?
button.
No, the where it's really stable image
Oh, the yeah,
stabilizes it.
action mode in the
Right.
video.
And I'm going to go to a website here as we talk about this because I have an example. I guess I could just hold my phone up to the camera. Yeah, that's probably the best. So let me do that real quick. Um, or should I plug it in? No, no, we don't want
No,
to crash OBS.
no.
But I took this beaut of a video and I wish I'd done a screen record like you did on yours. And Nate, please remind me if I forget to turn it off of my the Dave cam.
No, I'm not.
So here is a Learjet that
Yeah,
but look how stable that is.
it's crazy, and that's
I
the
mean,
5x zoom, or were you even
I
further
was like a
than 5?
25x zoom. I
Wow.
did digital zoom. And
Yes.
so I I I'm a pretty I mean I don't want to brag, but I'm a pretty good cameraman
Yes. Yes.
and I'm pretty experienced at tracking objects. But at that zoom, here's the the thing and it's going the object's going across and of course my phone is doing this
Jumping around.
around the
Yes.
object. I could see it,
Yeah.
but you saw in the video I just showed you that it
It
just was
smooths it out. Yeah. It's
I couldn't
pretty.
believe it.
All of the stabilization stuff, that's a big, I was reading another review somebody just put out from the Sebastian DeWitt, I think, from the maker of Halide and Orion and some other apps that we've talked about in the past. But
Yeah.
his camera review came out and it's very thoughtful. I mean, he makes more than one. They make Spectre, I think that's their other camera app. But he is.
Spectre? I hardly knew her.
Exactly. But he was just saying the stabilization stuff that they've done with a real camera, if you're using a 120 millimeter lens, which is the equivalent or that
Hmm.
type of zoom, that you have to keep it, you basically can't do it without a tripod. And with these phones, the stabilization makes a huge difference. So
And the AI.
yes, yes. And so we'll be talking more about phones. And I was thinking maybe we should have Wes on, but this is all a little bit of a teaser for the video that'll be coming to our channel this week.
Okay.
But one of the big, the Heatgate issue, Apple has released iOS 17.0.3 with fix for iPhone 15 Pro overheating, which I think it came out before you got your phone. So you got your
Yeah,
phone just at the right time. But I never had the overheating issue. But I did see a couple people say that after the update, their battery life's a lot better and they are not having the overheating at all. So it seems like it was just a software bug. And good job, Apple, getting that fixed so
yeah.
people don't have issues.
Hey, and since I took the time to load it up, I
Yeah.
wanted to see if I could play it in my browser. I kind of can. Let me see.
It's off the. There we go. Oh yeah, video is playing in your browser there.
There you go. So, I mean, you couldn't use that on a feature film, but man, that
Yeah.
was far away, and it was, yeah,
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Tyler Stallman that we've talked about before,
yeah.
and he was saying with like the new ProRes and the log shooting that you could cut in iPhone footage
Mm-hmm.
into a major movie and it
Sure.
would be not at the 25x zoom, but
It's been done. I mean,
yes. Yes, and good news to all listeners. Producer Todd has arrived. He said, "Oof,
yes.
I lost track of time in my nice hot shower. Sorry I'm late." And he said that he loves Dave's Pac-Man screen in the back. Your pick of the week
Oh,
from last
yes.
week. You've been playing around with that thing and you figured out how to get Pac-Man playing on there. That
Yeah,
is,
it's just an animated GIF, but
yeah,
it's fun. Fun
it is
nonetheless.
fun. It is. Uh, some great news from Netflix. I thought they just raised their prices, but Netflix plans to raise prices after actor strike ends.
Oh,
I
so meaning they're artificially low because they're not paying actors? I mean, what's the timing issue
I
got to
don't
do
know,
with
and
it?
it is a Wall Street Journal article that I linked to, so I can't even read the article. But
Oh yeah,
man,
mine's
I
completely.
would not be because I canceled my Netflix. I am only subscribed because I get it free through T-Mobile, along with
Yeah.
my T-Mobile phone plan. Other than that, I mean, these guys are getting greedy, and it might have been on This Week in Tech. They were talking about it, and they said it basically feels because Disney, I mean, Hulu, everybody's raising their prices that they're just trying to keep turning that
They're
dial up,
seeing
see
where the
how much
ceiling
money they,
is.
yeah, they're going to see where the ceiling is. And then when they, they've got the math all, they've got a whole department calculating, okay, if we lose 10,000 subscribers in the next month, maybe we need to bring it back down or run some promos or,
Yeah.
but they're pushing it to see. And a lot of people, they've been subscribed to Netflix for years and years, and they just don't even think about it. And a lot of them probably don't even use it. But it is a good reminder to pay attention to all those subscriptions, especially if you're not using them. Which ones do you have right now, Dave? I know you're pretty good about turning them on and off as you need them.
Well, the old Hulu, Disney, ESPN Plus, garbage by the way.
Yeah.
Um, they said, "Hey, your $3 or $4 a month promo that you've been enjoying for the past year is going to go up to like $18 a month." And I said, "See ya." So I no longer have the ability to watch Disney or items on Hulu, and didn't watch stuff on ESPN Plus to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a break from that until I get another like special offer from them where I can take advantage
Yeah.
of a discount. Um, through a friend, uh, I have access to HBO Max and Peacock.
Okay.
Uh,
Nice. Or
and
just Max. There's no.
yes, Max and Peacock. And then, of course, I have the Apple One subscription, so I am
Yes.
paying for Apple TV Plus
And the
service.
Amazon
And
Prime.
currently also paying for Paramount Plus, the home of Star Trek.
Oh, yes,
And then
yes.
actually, I was flipping through some of the free options. What is the one? There's Freevee, but there's the other one.
Uh,
Uh,
to,
what are they?
Tubi?
Tubi.
No.
To be
Is
or
it?
not to be.
Yes.
I was watching,
Pluto TV, that's the one that
yeah,
I use a lot.
I think it was Tubi. There was actually quite a bit of content on there. And of course, you're suffering through commercials every 20
Yeah.
seconds, it feels like. But there were actually some shows and some movies. And we were watching one show, and it wasn't any more ads than like Hulu had. And I was like,
Yeah.
this might be the new home for my TV watching. So,
Yes.
and
Yes.
of course,
Well,
I've got Samsung TV
yeah,
crap that's
there's a
built
million
into the
of different
TV.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't even remember them all. What's TCL?
Yeah, they've
or
got
a
one.
Roku TV,
Roku
yeah,
TV.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I'm not. I've got the Netflix for free, Apple, Amazon.
Oh,
I don't think I'm currently paying for any
Netflix.
other
Yes.
ones. Yes. Um, hey, just a quick sidestep.
Oh,
Pro- Producer, and it's appropriate that it's a slide whistle. Producer Todd reminded me, and Dave, what are you up to this weekend? Because the Retro Gaming Convention is coming to the Portland Convention Center.
well, I'm not doing that. I want to do that. I didn't know
Yeah.
about it till just now. Um, on Saturday, I have play practice for a
Oh.
production I'm in later this
Oh,
fall,
Ian. We might have to do a
and
live episode of Dave's production.
that would be great. And then nothing that afternoon, I don't think. And then, oh wait, what day is it? It's this weekend.
Friday, Saturday, and
If
Sunday.
only I had a device with my calendar on it around here. I've
Yeah.
got like 30.
Yeah,
So,
I've been meaning to go to this for years, and the Unipiper and Todd will have a booth with his VHS notebooks. We went and saw him at the CouvCon a
yeah.
while back, but I might try to go to this weekend.
You know what, Nate? So my practice is from 9 to noon,
Yeah,
and I looked at my schedule, and I don't have anything currently booked for the afternoon
nice.
and evening, so
Yes, and I
maybe
know
we could
we
go
have
down.
some local listeners that are into retro gaming as well, but fun will be had by all. He also commented, Tubi is great. They have a ton of stuff, especially if you love B-grade bad movies.
Yes,
Not
there's a lot of that on there.
surprisingly, that's the only place many of our Portland at the movies are available. His other podcast, Portland at the Movies. So
Yeah.
this is the producer Todd Plugcast episode here.
Well,
Um,
it's all about free video, right? So you
yeah.
can watch that podcast that's filmed for free,
Yes. Yeah, there you
and you can
go.
watch Tubi for free.
Tubi. And back to Netflix, we were talking last week about the last CD or last DVDs being shipped for Netflix.
Hmm.
And Chelsea told me that one of her old friends, I think from high school or something, posted that she had been a subscriber to DVDs all the way up to the end. And they had a thing where the last DVD you rented or got from them, you got to keep after that date.
Oh,
And she chose the wonderful movie Idiocracy, which is, if you have not seen Idiocracy, just
I
look
have not.
outside and you'll see you have not seen the Idiocracy.
I've heard
Oh,
about it, and I've heard about the parallels of what goes on
yes. It's
today.
a Mike Judge who has done King of the Hill and some other great cartoons over the year. I believe it's one of his movies, but Dax Shepard and Terry Crews. It's a fun movie, but yes, it gets less fun as the real world becomes more of the world that we see in the movie. Uh,
Well, perhaps I could interest you in some propane and some wonderful propane accessories.
yes, Hank Hill.
Yes, King of the Hill. It's a good show.
Yes, it was. It was a good show. Now you might be confused, but Amazon's Prime
Always.
Big Deal Days start tomorrow, October 10th, and run through the 11th. So this is Prime Days Part 2 from Amazon. They are doing in October Prime Days. So they have their July Amazon Prime Day. They have October Amazon Prime Big Deal Days. And then they have Black Friday sales. So it's just all one big sale. But
It's
um,
everything's on sale all the time because if it's for sale, it's on sale.
well, there you go. But I was talking to my brother. One of my brothers works for a marketing agency, and he does a lot with advertising on Amazon. And he said, the number on these Prime Days is so crazy that it's worth it for them to do it. And again, deals can be hit or miss, but good reminder that you should head over to notpicks.com, look around at some of our previous picks, and then see if they are part of Amazon Prime Big Deal Days
Let's see.
that start tomorrow.
I went to Not Picks.
Well,
Oh, there
there
we
it
go.
is in all its glory. Yeah, just keep scrolling down from
There we
that
go.
part. But yeah, we've got tons of picks there with Amazon affiliate links, so we get a little kickback. And you can, if you're going to shop on Amazon, it'd be great if you find something there, click through and do it that way, because then, ooh, The in-charge cable from Rolling Square. We'll come back to that
Yeah.
later.
Featured on episode 402, A Little Sus.
Yes, yes, and we've got the video links on the more recent product pages since we've been doing our live episodes, so you can watch the clip to hear us talk about it over at notpicks.com.
Yes.
Yes, and my pick this week is Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Hold on.
And that's not my real pick, but
I wasn't ready, but you
I
can
was
always pick me
desperate
for
for
your.
a segue. You did not toss me a fast curveball on that one by just saying yes, so I had to come up with something.
Well, today I thought we could talk about something near and dear to my heart, the iPhone. Have we ever had an
Yeah.
iPhone tip on this program?
I don't know, and I
I'm
don't know
not
if any of our
sure.
listeners are really using those things yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we have. So the tip this week is something that as we age, we get to use things like this a little bit more,
Yes.
or
Yes, for our
maybe,
audio listeners, what would those things be?
oh,
Not a
these
cane.
are little reader glasses, or maybe they look like this,
Do
or
How many pair of reader glasses? You've got as Do you have a pair of readers for every Amazon Kindle you have? Is
pretty
that your
much.
goal?
Well, I thought you had to change them for every screen you look at. Am I
Oh
wrong?
yeah. No,
No.
I
I
think that's it.
I bought a two-pack of these a long time ago, these Ben Franklin style, and
Yes.
then I one of them broke, and so I just had one, so I bought a five-pack. So now they're
Ooh,
just everywhere.
stocked up.
Yeah, they're like I
And
trip
why
over them in
not?
the
Well,
morning.
thank you for that. Pro tip
Well,
of the week: buy a 5 pack of your Ben Franklin readers.
so there we are with the readers. But as I switch over to my handy dandy iPhone
As I
overlay
cross
into
my
settings,
fingers that the phone stays active,
yes,
and it did,
yes, it's
or
not going
the
to
whole
crash.
stream. Yes.
So if you go into settings on your iPhone, and this iPhone's running iOS 15 or 16, so it goes back a ways. The newest one is 17. But you go into settings, and as you age, some people may say, well, you need to go into your display and brightness, or I'm sorry, you need to go into where's the text? That's not my tip, and so I don't have it. I'm going to type in text up here in the search. You can
Yes.
change the text size.
Yes.
And oh, it's under accessibility. That's what was going to be my next guess. But under accessibility, you can make your things bold. You can just do a larger text thing here, and you can increase the size of the text as it goes. Uh, but text only gets you so far. And so today's tip is if you just want everything to be bigger because you're old and you want to see everything, buttons, icons, you're going to want to head to display and brightness and you scroll way down to the bottom. And when you first set up your phone, it usually asks you this, and most people just probably go right by it. But I set up my iPhone 15 Pro Max as a new phone this year. I
Mm.
don't do it every year, but this year it's brand new vanilla phone. And it asked me this, and I was like, oh yeah. And I tried this view. You can change from standard to zoomed view, and you'll watch this little animation here. The text bubbles in your messaging app, the interface elements, the icons, as I mentioned, uh, everything about the experience on your phone is just a little bit bigger. Things are going
Yes.
to be a little more cramped, but the whole interface stretches a bit. So, um, my example I was using, and I hope I don't reveal any information here. Oh, that's a test alert. It was my control center. Here we go. So here's my control center on normal.
Yeah.
Now, if I go back into my settings and I go to zoomed and set, and it is going to blank my phone out. I hope it doesn't crash OBS here. If it
We can only
does,
hope.
stand by. It did not. Now I'm going to do that same thing. See how all those icons are just bigger now? Whoops.
Yeah.
See, like they're, sheesh, what's it doing here? No, don't, sheesh. So the scroll up and down now to see all my
To
icons
get
because
all
everything's
to
just a bit
everything.
fatter.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
that is zoomed view.
Yes, and producer Todd happened to notice and said, "LOL, Dave's Wi-Fi is Skynet. Who is he? Me?"
Yes, it is Skynet.
Yes, well,
If you,
that is a great tip. I need to show that one to my parents. I don't know if they have that turned on, but I do know that my mom's, when she goes into text messages, the text size is 2 words per screen, I think is the official setting from Apple on that.
yeah.
But you know what, Dave? I'm going to come in with a bonus pro tip.
Oh, hold on. Do I have a sounder for that? I don't think I did, but
I don't know. I've got, there we go. Ooh, we've got melodic bells here.
mm-hmm.
We could make a song out of that. But this we can't show on your phone because it does require iOS 17. But I think this is a game changer. So if you go into settings and back to the accessibility that we mentioned before, and then if you go to touch
Oh,
and then
here, let me switch screens here. You are not in focus. There you go.
not in
There you
focus,
go.
and
You're
then
focused.
if you scroll down to uh, where is it? Did they take it away from me?
I gotta say, your iPhone 15 Pro Max is looking
Yeah. Oh, you go into haptic touch,
haptic
and
touch.
so accessibility touch, and then haptic. I've got to get my face off the screen
Yeah,
so it'll focus.
yeah,
Um, but there are 3 settings there.
yeah.
And
What do
so
they
haptic
say?
touch is, if you remember the wonderful days of 3D touch where you just pressed a little harder into your
Yeah,
screen, you got those other menus and everything, there is slow, default, or fast. And I would highly recommend going into the settings and changing this to fast because then when you're on your home screen and you like go to the app store, it will very quickly. You don't have to wait for that delay. So it's just a little accessibility change in there, but it is a very nice little feature that I wish they would have given us as soon as they took away 3D touch.
yeah. So I'm in settings. I'm in touch. I go to haptic touch, and I'm gonna change
Yes,
it to fast. Very
fast. And
good.
they even have a little interface there so you can test the different
Mm-hmm.
lengths. It's not a big, huge difference, but man, when you're trying to, if you do use the haptic touch stuff, it will be quicker for you.
Well, Nate, I could have used that as next week's tip. Way to blow that
Yeah,
one.
I know. I had to get it out there. I just had to. I'm sorry I couldn't wait any longer.
Hey, since we're in our side-by-side view, and for all of
Yeah,
those of you listening to the audio only, be sure to go to
yes.
YouTube's.net and look at our side-by-side view. But hold your phone up again since you're caseless, and I just took my case out. So
Oh, yeah.
yours is the black,
Yeah.
and mine is the natural. They look so
And with my
similar.
warm lighting here, it gives you an inaccurate thing there. Now, Dave, my question now that you took your case off,
Yeah.
how closely does that natural titanium match the titanium on your Apple Watch?
Well, my friend, I'm gonna do it to my eye first. To my eye, the colors are near identical, and
Okay.
let's see what the camera shows with my poor lighting in here. One of these days I'm going to redo my lighting, but it's not high
Yeah.
priority. It's not focusing. I'm too close. There we go. Here, hold on. We have the technology. We
We
can
have the
do it.
technology for Zoom.
So that's pretty good, I think, right?
Yeah. No, that was kind of the big question, and I hadn't. When I'd been at the Apple Store, I could have taken a look at that, but I didn't. But I figured I would ask because that's something people were interested in is having a phone that matches their Apple Watch Ultra. And with that, it is time for everyone's favorite segment, just the headlines, which also means we need to check in on that driveway cam, Dave. How we
Yes,
looking? Oh, fall is here.
fall is here and the leaves are everywhere. And just in the
Yes.
past day and a half or so, about 90 billion leaves have landed on our
Yes.
yard. So,
Yes. Well, let us not leave the listeners waiting and get to just the
mm,
headlines. U.S. science agencies on track to hit 25-year funding low.
okay.
SEC seeks to force Musk testimony on Twitter stock purchases.
Bet.
ICE, CBP, and Secret Service all illegally use smartphone location data.
Surprise Pikachu face.
MGM Resorts refused to pay ransom in cyber attack on
Good
casinos.
for them.
And Sam Bankman Fried considered paying Trump 5 billion with a B dollars not to run for president. Michael Lewis tells 60 Minutes. Oh, man, remember the multiple stories every week about SBF, Sam Bankman Fried?
I'm kind of
Uh,
glad that guy's got out of the spotlight some.
yeah, I think they've started some of the trials with like not him, but some of the other people, and it looks worse and worse every word that is spoken. And they had found the back door where they were siphoning all the money out, months before it all came crashing down, and
Why did
they
they
knew
think
it
they
was
could get
all a
away
house
with this?
cards. I don't know. It is
Yes.
craziness. Well, with that, let's move on to our takes of the week. And I think it's probably the last major smartphone announcement of the and my link does not work. Uh, if
It
you're
opened
trying
up a
to,
new tab for me.
it opened up a new tab with some random text, probably from a headline that I copied into the URL. But if I will get that resolved nearly immediately for you, Dave. I've got
Okay.
the link here, and I will hit Command K.
Let's
Pro
see how
tip for text: if you do Command K, that will usually give you the link interface. There it has been updated, and see if you've got.
well, let's see how fast iCloud updates it between devices. And it actually is updated now, so there we go.
Very nice. So Google had their Pixel 8 launch event. I actually did watch the Twit's coverage of this week in tech. They did a live kind of talk over of the event, so I did catch some of it live. They announced the Pixel 8, the Pixel
Mm-hmm.
8 Pro, Pixel Watch 2, and the new version. I think it's the Pixel Buds 2.
Yeah.
So they've got, and I will be honest with you. I've said before the Pixel phones are very nice, but these are great looking phones. They've got a lot of new features on them. They're about the same price as the iPhone, so gone are the days of the Pixel or cheap phones. They've got some new. They're making their own chips, like
Mm-hmm.
Apple now for the phone. Um, but there's a weird feature in the Pixel 8 Pro. It has a temperature sensor, which a
Yeah.
lot of people are guessing it's something that they were working on for COVID. And then they were like, well, we've got it. We might as well put it on there. But you use the feature on their phone, and you can't use it for a person, but you can like hold it to your cup of tea, and it will tell you what the temperature is, or your.
I mean, you could use it for a person, but it's not
It's not,
FDA
yeah,
approved.
it's not, they've got, what are you taking the temperature of with a bunch of options. And there is
Mm-hmm.
curiously, let's say there's 10 icons, there's 9 of them there. So they might be waiting on like a FDA approval,
Mm-hmm.
which would be nice if with your phone you could quickly take yours or someone else's temperature.
That would be nice.
Um, and on these Pixel phones, one of the photo features that they have, I forget what they're calling it, but basically, if you've got a group photo and it takes a little burst of photos, then you can go back in and individually adjust people's faces to get
Right.
the correct things. Um, and
I was
the
gonna see
Verge
if I could
here, the
find it
article,
here.
yeah, let's see. This article doesn't. It's got a bunch of random stuff, random article links. Uh, let's
Yeah, here it is.
yeah, so you can go in there and you can make sure everybody's smiling or get the desired look. So it's kind of bringing the whole, what is a photo these days, which we've gotten
Yeah,
away from a long time ago.
I've heard some of that commentary about it's like, are you trying to take a photo or are you wanting to Photoshop a scene? Because we've known that the Samsung phones replace the moon. If you
Yeah,
take a picture of
yeah.
the moon, they replace it with like a JPEG image of the moon, but it looks convincing because it's the right everything. Um, why couldn't we just do that with our entire world? And then pretty soon it's like, let's say I'm downtown Portland, and in a computer somewhere there's a three-dimensional layout of Portland, and it renders it for my exact GPS coordinates with the perfect lighting. Maybe I can choose the season, like I want it to be fall or
Yeah,
winter, whatever, and I click it.
replace.
But I'm not really taking a photo.
Yeah,
I'm photoshopping a scene. Anyway.
yeah, yeah. It is interesting, and it looks pretty surreal doing it. I mean, the fight.
Oh my.
Wow, geez, on air sneeze. It's been a while since I've had one of those, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they truly turn out in the end. But Google is doing really great things with computational photography. They have a feature. I think it's probably just on the 8 Pro, maybe on both the new 8s, where if you take a video, there is a feature where it'll upload it to Google servers and it will do a bunch of correction and enhancement on their servers, and then
Okay.
you will get a basically enhanced video back from their servers, which is pretty interesting. A lot of this hasn't been out in the wild yet, so we only have their presentation to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
But they look like really good phones. I was taking a look just at their share a little bit in our next article. Talks about Google has shipped almost 40 million Pixel phones since 2016, 10 million last year. So that's 40 million in 7 years. And you might go, wow, that's a lot of phones. Well, Apple does at least that every quarter, correct, on iPhones. So
The scale is so
yeah, so they
big.
are a very small segment, but they are putting a lot of effort into these phones to really get them up there. But yeah, I mean, 10 million last year. That's um, not nothing.
Mm-hmm. True.
So yeah, the new Pixel phones, if you're looking to go Android, because still haven't heard from any listeners besides Chris Kent's wife that's still on Android. Which after that episode, I did think of some more marriage counseling. I was
Oh,
trying to
did
think
you?
how you could really emotionally support her through that, and to
Mm.
have some talk and some serious conversation of how you could get her to switch to an iPhone, because during the episode we were kind of giving some forceful options
Mm-hmm.
for it. So I was trying to think of more loving ways to convince
Yeah.
her that iPhone is the way to go.
I mean,
Uh,
we're making a stretch and an assumption, but if they're married, we're assuming it's happily married.
yes,
Yeah, we're just
yes.
gonna make that assumption.
Yes, yes, we will do that. The next story, I'm sure everybody's probably seen some sort of video on this at this point, but that sphere in Las Vegas, that
Yeah,
amazing, I think we might have talked about it a while back on the podcast. I don't
maybe. I
remember.
saw it before it was up and running. And
Oh
they're like,
yeah,
what is
you
that
were
huge
down there.
black thing in the horizon that's like
Yeah.
has its own gravitational pull? Oh, that's the sphere. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. But
Yeah,
now I
yeah.
do.
Yeah, my parents, they had a layover in Vegas and they saw it and they're like, "What is this dome thing?" Well, it's this massive building that is a half sphere. The entire outside is video screens, and then the entire, well, most of the inside is video screens. And this past weekend, or this past week, the band U2, they started a short residency there to kind of introduce the sphere. And I've seen a couple different videos online, and I saw somebody was saying, why do we even need the band there? Because why do I want to look at the band? I just want to look at this
Mm-hmm.
massive, immersive video experience. I don't know that I need to go see U2. I just want to go watch some video creations there.
Well,
But the amount of work that built for an estimated 2.3 billion with a B dollars.
I'm one of those guys, and I know I'm not normal, uh, but the experience of going to a live event for me is not that compelling. At first, it starts with getting everything ready. Do I have my phone? Oh, my wallet. Oh, it's in my other pants. I got to do this. And oh no, I forgot to put my watch on. It was on the charger. And you're in the car, and it's too late to go back, and so you're already grumpy. And then you get to the venue, and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going to park? I'm
Yes.
going to park like in Canada, and then it starts to rain, and so you're walking to this venue. You finally get there, and then of course there's security, and it's like, oh, you're going along good, and then oh, you're the guy that gets pulled over to the other line, and it's like, well, every 10th person who's bald and has a beard, we got a strip search. So let me get my rubber glove on. Then you finally get in and you walk into this enormous place, and the guy in front of you won't sit down, and he's filming the whole time with his camera in your face. And it's just like, why did I pay $250 to come to this thing? I'm having such a terrible experience. I would
Yes.
rather just watch a concert on my TV. That's what I want to
Yes.
do. So
Yes.
I don't get the in and oh, and not to mention, I went to a Paul McCartney concert years ago, gifted by a wonderful friend, the tickets. But we were literally up against the back cement wall.
Nice.
That's how far away we were from the stage. And Paul, I could see him. He's about 2 inches. And of course, there was image magnification. So I was there. I
Yes.
saw him in the
You were in the
flesh.
same room with
I was in the
Sir
same
Paul
room.
McCartney.
But
Yeah.
other than being in the same room, there really was no advantage to being
Yeah.
there.
Yes. Well, this brings the advantage. And again, I would argue that you don't need the band there because in these widescreen videos I'm seeing with just a full dome of video happening, and then you just got this tiny little stage with U2 on it. It's like,
Hmm.
get them out of the way, give me more video. Producer
But
Todd is saying that sphere looks freaking phenomenal. I really hope Madonna plays there sometime so I'd have an excuse to go.
well, I don't know if her ego could fit in that place, but I could get my VR headset and the
Oh
VR3,
yeah,
the Quest VR3. We'll have to talk about that next week. It's been announced for a while, and I think it went on sale recently, maybe even
yeah,
today. But you can buy this experience now that's so much better than even a year ago. And with the Apple Vision Pro coming out,
yeah.
like maybe I could experience the sphere
Yeah, I
in
guess
my
with
living room.
VR having that, you could get this place. I mean, it is crazy with this huge LED curved LED screen that covers half the inside of the sphere, and
I
then
want to
there's
see
something
it
like
just to experience.
18,000 speakers. Yeah, I would just like to go in there for like just give me a 15-minute show
Let's play
early
Mario on the
afternoon.
thing.
There you go. But yeah, pretty wild, and it'll be pretty interesting to see what comes out of that at the
Hmm.
Sphere in Las Vegas.
The sphere.
And much less
Uh-oh.
exciting and phenomenal, we've
I need to
got,
read my show notes.
yes, we've
This is going to
got
affect me.
security and privacy stories. Well, luckily it won't. The headline 23andMe. Oh, I gotta wait for that
Oh, you
music
don't have to
there.
just talk right over it.
I need like a pair of sunglasses to put on for the security and privacy.
Here
Give
we
me
go.
all the sounds. 23andMe scraping incident leaked data on 1.3 million with an M users of Ashkenazi and Chinese descent. So, Dave, did you, when you did 23andMe, find that you had any Ashkenazi or Chinese descent?
Well, my friend, regarding the Chinese descent, you will be probably not surprised to learn. I'm talking slowly as I try to
Slowly, as you
find.
furiously try to open your results.
Yes, I have some trace ancestries,
Mm.
and one of those trace ancestries is it's loading. Come on, 23andMe. First you breach our data, now you're taking
Well, I'll
forever to
let you
load.
get that. And as I
Yeah,
read
keep
a bit of
talking.
the article, the information of nearly 7 million 23andMe users was offered for sale on a cybercriminal forum this week. The information include origin estimation, phenotype, health information, photos, identification data, and more. And then they said that it was not, they kind of tried to deny it like everybody does at the beginning, but they say that it was an issue where people were using hacked passwords from other data sets and
Mm,
then just trying it on 23andMe. And because, shame on you, people were using the same password everywhere.
yeah.
6.2%, or is that not 6 point, or
0.2% Korean.
0.2 Korean.
I thought it
So
was
you are safe on
Chinese, but
this.
I think it probably just said Asia, and then now it's more specific
Yeah.
about where it was. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was for a limited set from what they've seen so far, which that could always change. But it was a scraping, and they have a relative matches thing where you can share your information with relatives. So they would log into your account and then scrape all the relative data from anybody that you had connected in there. So just another great reminder to use unique passwords. And speaking of reminders, Dave, it's October, which means
Yeah,
it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I know you've been wearing your pin around, your lapel pin
I
for
have.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month, but the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is seems a bit redundant, which
Mm,
is CISA, as it's more often referred to. They put out a video and an article on 4 steps to help you to keep you cyber safe. And the first one on there, just like the last story, use strong passwords.
mm-hmm.
Number two, turn on MFA. We say that multi-factor authentication, where you get the code or at least a text message or an email before you can log into account. Recognize and report phishing. That's a big one too. So much of this stuff comes through phishing emails where they get you to click and you're not thinking and you put in your login information and
Mm-hmm.
it's too late. And the last one we always talk about too, update your software. So for very uh, important steps from
Yes.
CISA. And they have, you can get the link in the show notes and get their Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2023 resources and partner toolkit, where
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you, you can download the complete toolkit to get some resources, some PDFs and infographics, a branded email signature graphic. Huh?
Oh, I love those.
I know what
Nice.
I'm doing. Yeah, sample social media post. Maybe I'll get a sample social media post and put it out on the Not Nerd account just because my government dollars went into this, so we um,
Use it.
might as well use it and abuse it. Sample
Mm-hmm.
social media post downloading now. Okay, with that, enough security and privacy. It is time to go to our bonus odd take, and this is somewhat related. I believe it was last week we talked about the There I Ruined It For You account.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I found, it's an article, Weird AI Yankovic, a cursed deep dive into the world of voice cloning. So what this person did was they took, say, Michael Jackson, an AI voice for Michael Jackson, and then dubbed it over Weird Al's version of Eat
Oh,
It and used Michael Jackson's voice. So instead of Weird
okay.
Al, it gets a little meta here, not Mark Zuckerberg meta.
Yeah.
But instead of Weird Al making a parody of a Michael Jackson song, it's then Michael Jackson attempting to sing Weird Al's lyrics, and he does a couple of them. It and he talks about the fact that Weird Al, just his intonation and how he sings the songs, it almost still just sounds like Weird Al, even with these voices. So it's not
Hmm.
a perfected method yet, but he's got a couple different ones in there. And I think if you scroll down, he does he does Madonna. He's got some Nirvana. His Smells Like Nirvana parody of Smells Like Teen Spirit, but then it's Kurt Cobain thing. So it is just one of those articles that I found that I was like, there is so much going on here. But I guess there's some online forums where they just, it's AI cover gen. I think that's the tool, but there's some forums online where people just try to recreate these AI voices for different famous people. And
Yeah.
so
What's
it
fun?
says here,
Oh, go ahead.
I tried 6 different Michael Jackson AI voice models, including one trained on 7 hours of vocals over 300 epochs, a fancy word for cycles through the training dataset, but it didn't make much difference. Generally, it isn't necessary to use more than 15 minutes of clean audio for a good model. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's pretty interesting.
I think part of the fun of listening to Weird Al music is hearing Weird Al's voice because it's kind of
Yes.
comically whiny. And
Yes.
if it's just someone else singing a Weird Al song, it's not as fun to listen to.
Yes,
So,
that is a big selling point for him. And here, correct myself, the center of the AI cover songs community is a massive 500,000 plus member Discord group called AI Hub, where members trade new tips, tools, techniques, and links to their original and cover songs.
hmm,
Oh, update to the article. 3 days after publishing this article, Discord banned AI Hub for copyright complaints. See the update at the end of this article.
hmm.
So I didn't make it to the very end because there's a lot of ads
There's
and
a lot of
a
garbage.
lot of stuff in here. It goes on and on. So yeah, Discord permanently banned AI Hub. Bummer, I didn't get there. Presumably because of repeated copyright violations.
Here we go.
Um,
Here's the update.
yeah, Torrent Freak's Ernesto Vandersar was first to report the story, which cites an unconfirmed report from which claims that AI Hub was banned because of copyright. Yeah, we've heard that
Hmm.
55 times. Apparently, someone did the trick of editing posts and added several links with copyrighted content. So, sounds like maybe somebody didn't like this server happening, so they
Hmm.
started posting a bunch of regular songs and ruined it for everybody.
I guess so. Hmm.
But at least in this article, we still have some of these creations that, who is the Andy Bio from waxy.org. Thank you for trying to even further complicate Weird Al Yankovic.
Waxy.org, huh? Hmm.
Yes, and
That
producer
seems
Todd
very.
says, I can't wait until Weird Al plays the Sphere. He's the only other artist I ever go to. Yeah, that would be fun to see Weird Al at the Sphere. He would
I
have
have
some
never
fun with those
seen
video screens.
Weird Al
I
in
haven't either,
concert.
and I am I would consider myself a decent fan. I used to listen to him. I had CDs. I'd listen to him all the time, and I know he used to come to the Oregon Zoo like every summer for a
Hmm.
concert, and my aunt and cousins would go to it. But yeah,
You know
maybe I
what?
need to put that on the bucket list. Not nerd bucket list. Weird Al concert.
You said the Oregon Zoo. I was just reminded one time we went to the Oregon Zoo and there was somebody playing. And do you know who it was? It
Who
was
was it?
Modest Yahoo
Modest Yahoo. Oh,
was playing there.
he was everything for a while there.
And it,
Another.
well, and if I recall, it was he was just sitting out there playing like, isn't there like the amphitheater or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't like fancy at all.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
weird. And
yeah.
anyway, that my memory could be messed up, but
No, I could see that happening. I mean, they had Weird Al. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
yeah.
So, well, you know what does get bigger than that? Our picks of the week.
To my ear, I hit the effect on and off too quickly, but it went. Brrr. I hope that that was everybody else heard
Close
that.
enough.
Uh,
The people know.
yeah. So this week, I decided to do something that I pulled the trigger on about 3 or 4 years ago, and then I ended up sending the product back. And so uh, the time was right. I felt like it was time for me to get a mechanical clicky keyboard, and I
Yeah.
lowered my standards because I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Yes.
So I bought the Zoy ZIYOU Lang RK68 60% wireless mechanical keyboard Bluetooth 5.2.4 dual mode receiver hot swappable mini 68 key retro color keycaps linear red switch ultra power savings for PC, PS4, Xbox, iPhone, iPad, and they should have said and more.
And
So what
more.
is this? It is a
Yeah.
keyboard. And the 60% means it's 60% of the keys of an actual real
Ah,
keyboard. There's no 10 key. You'll notice at the top, the function
oh,
keys and the
it's
number keys are
dual.
on the same row. You have to hit the function
So
to
very similar to mini laptop keyboards, but a
yes.
little bit thicker
Oh,
than
it's quite a
most
bit
laptop.
thicker. I don't like the thickness. And this was a brand. There was another brand that I was Keytron is a very reputable brand, but their keyboards are like 80 or $100.
Ooh.
This, my friends, cost. I mean, if you want to guess, you can guess, Nate, if
Oh,
you want.
I will guess, and I have zero idea. I have never had a single moment of interest in a mechanical keyboard, but I'm going to say 39.99.
Are you cheating?
I am not.
It is 38.99.
Oh,
You were
I was
$1 off, you
way
idiot.
off. Way off. Geez, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
So now,
so
did you say it is Bluetooth, but it also comes with a dongle in
oh
case you
yeah,
don't
so
have
let's talk about
Bluetooth?
that. One of
What?
the reasons I picked this one is because oh, I thought you could hook it up via USB-C. I guess I'm dumb. Or can you? Can you? Is it? No. Anyway, you can hook it up via a 2.4 gigahertz dongle
Okay. Yes.
or Bluetooth,
Okay.
and there's batteries in the bottom. I thought there was also a USB-C port on here that you could use it wired, but I am
Oh,
mistaken. And for 40 bucks, you don't have all the features. For example, there's no background lights or anything here. And one thing I didn't really pay that much attention. I love the color scheme. This is very. There's a new game out for uh, computers, or I'm sorry, for gaming
for
consoles
for
called
computers.
it's a space game. Why am I blanking on it? Anyway, it has this color aesthetic. It
Yeah.
also is very similar to the Baylor Media color aesthetic
Ooh.
with the gray and orange, even though the gray is a little bit darker than mine, I think.
And my Bass Pro Shops hat
A little
too.
bit. Yeah, so I like this aesthetic, so I got it. But the keycaps are a little bit like look at those numbers. Look at the nine.
Yeah.
The nine is like hard to read.
Yeah.
So other than the top row, everything else is pretty legible. So
S-
anyway, 40 bucks. The other, like again, Keytron is a great one. I was going to pull the trigger a couple years ago. I ended up sending it back because I didn't like there's different switch things.
Yeah.
And this one's really probably not any different than the one, but the difference was it cost half as much.
Costs half as much. So what's the advantage of a mechanical keyboard? Why is that? And I mean, people are serious about their
hmm
keyboards.
Well, if you get the right switches, the tactile and visceral feel of typing is can be so much better.
Mm,
They make the ones that are really fast switches for gaming. They make the ones that are very easy to press so that your fingers don't get fatigued if you're typing a lot. Maybe a writer would use that one. And they make some that are more for like computer coding, where there's like a double switch where you press. So here's the bottom, but there's a kind of a click as you get to here,
oh,
and then a final click. So it's like click, click.
wow.
So once it's activated, you can feel it physically. And then you can, of course, feel it when it hits the bottom. And so for some people who do touch typing and all this stuff, you can get into this rhythm with the clicks. And you'll also know that if I didn't feel that first bump, it means it didn't receive the input. So if
Ah,
you're a coder, you can like be sure that it received that input because you get like a little confirmation that you've passed anyway. I don't know. I could be making up things, but I think it's just fun and kind
yeah,
of retro. And I
yeah.
really want the one I you can replace all the keycaps and the switches if you want to.
Wow.
You can buy them; they're all interchangeable. You can buy really fancy. You can buy a cheap keyboard case and get really fancy switches if you want, or vice versa. If you don't have the money, you buy a fancy case and just buy cheap switches and maybe upgrade later. So anyway, it's just for fun and
Yeah.
to make it annoying when you're on a podcast.
And you're typing, yes.
So Val and I,
Loud.
this is a little sidestep. Val and I, my wife, we did with my Apple. Uh, the risk of dropping onto my head.
Yes.
My Apple keyboard
Yeah.
that I've been using for a long time. And this new keyboard, we were doing typing tests at like typingtest.com or whatever, and seeing if we could type faster with it.
Oh,
And it wasn't really fair because we're not used to this, but I was getting up to my normal speeds after a while. But it is thicker, and so I'm going to have to, I think, figure out a wrist rest because
yeah.
it's going to cause my forearms to get tired after a while. But I don't type
Well,
a
I
lot, so
always recommend the previous pick a week, the Vixing one that I use here. But yes, there's a million options
yeah.
for wrist stress out there.
So that's my pick, the little keyboard, 40 bucks.
Very
I
nice,
like
very
it.
nice. Well, my pick of the week, I teased earlier, you happened to randomly click on the NotPix website, the Rolling Square cable. So this isn't my pick, but they are the company that makes these nice little keychain cables that's got basically every connector you want on there. But I just received something from them from Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and I will pull out my previous pick of the week, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Mighty Wallet here. And my pick of the week from Rolling Square is money. No, it's not money.
Oh, I'll take that.
It is, I've got it in here. Where'd I put it? It is this device, which is, they have trademarked the name AirCard.
Hmm.
And so what this is, very much like a Apple AirTag, and it works with the Find My network. And there's other brands that do this. I couldn't remember, Dave, if you had purchased any of the wallet type Find My devices.
I did one that's shaped like a credit card,
Yeah,
and it was from I was gonna say Coochie. It's not Coochie. Um,
Chipolo.
Chipolo, and it lasts about a year, and then it dies, and you have to throw it away. So I stuck it on my Nintendo Switch games.
Nice. Yeah, so this one, they designed it. It's pretty cool. It's got like little see-through so you can see the inside stuff there. It's got a NFC tag so you can do like this thing where you basically do a digital business card. And I was looking at the settings, you can, put a bunch of links on a page or you can redirect it somewhere. So if you put it near somebody's phone, it'll pass your information
So
over
what am
to
I
them, much
seeing
like
there?
you.
Can I see through? Is it see through
Yeah,
plastic?
yeah, there's some see-through there, so you are
Oh,
seeing the internals there.
that's cool.
And then it's got a QR code that people could scan, and then I apparently probably steal my thing. It's got the little NFC tag. So they put a lot of thought into it, much like they did their
Hmm.
cables, and they do some good products. I will mention that after about a week or so in my wallet, you might notice there's a slight
Ooh,
bend to it. It's still
yeah,
working fine, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. And like I said, there's a couple different brands, but I really like Rolling Square, and with the Kickstarter discount, you're going to pay somewhere between $30 and $40 for the ones that actually work with the Apple Find My stuff. But now I've got AirTags on my keys in my car, and I've got this in my wallet. So if I lose my wallet, I can track it down.
that's cool. Man, I want to get one of those for my wife because we have some air tags that she can use, but it's like a coin shaped thing, but it's kind of fat. Like, how do you keep it in your wallet without it
Yeah.
falling out? So, getting one that's in the shape of a card that she could put in among her other cards would be really, really nice.
Yes, yes, and I mean, it's not as thin as a credit card because they have to put some technology, but it doesn't, it's not ridiculous like if you tried to put an AirTag into your wallet, unless you get an AirTag specifically designed for that.
Hmm.
I don't see that they have the Rolling Square ones on Amazon. Some of the other brands do have theirs. I think Anchor makes one. Um, Find my wallet tracker.
And as you're looking, I'm on the website here going through. So, all the things you mentioned, about 40 bucks, seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, and is it because you like the other Rolling Square products, is why you kind of prefer this one? Oh,
Yeah,
is
and
the
they
battery
sent
replaceable? Probably not.
it is not. They have a program much like Tile used to where they say it'll last about 2 years and then they'll give you 50% off to replace it.
Hmm,
So
that's not
that's
bad.
kind of the one bummer there. Eufy is the other brand that has one on Amazon, which we've
Yeah.
talked about Eufy products before, and there's Chipolo makes one, but I don't know that I've seen one yet with a replaceable battery. When they get that thin, it just makes it tough. That's
Yeah,
the
I
hard
think
part.
what it is probably the battery without the metal casing around it. They just put it right inside the
Yeah.
device, so you can't really take it out.
Yes, but a nice little device if you lose things. Luckily, I do not lose my wallet or many things often, but every once in a while. And can we just briefly talk again about the fact that they just decided to turn on for your Apple TV with the latest updates that you can now use if you have a newer Apple TV, you can use Find My to find your remote now. It was
Hmm.
sitting there all along, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, now you can turn it on, so now you can find your remote," which
Um, I've not tried that,
I
but
did
I have
try
the
it.
newest Apple TV. But I did
Yeah.
have an AirTag stuck on it with a little deal
Yeah,
before.
yeah. But
But
the technology was already in that remote, and they just didn't give it to us until just a few weeks ago. So I did try it out. So it is a good reminder that if you have a newer Apple TV and it's updated, you can use Find My on my phone to find your remote because those things are tiny and slippery.
yeah, and so the device doesn't make a noise though. It just
No,
broadcasts
it
its
just it
location.
gives you the location with the so you can kind of get near and it tells you
Hmm.
when you're close to it, which when I tried it out, I was sitting on it, so
Yeah,
I was pretty close when I pulled the app
you're like,
out.
it's in my
Oh,
crotch. What? Oh no,
yeah,
it's I'm sitting on it.
yes. But yes, a good reminder on that little tip. And with that, I think we are ready to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for producer Todd and whoever else I wasn't monitoring too closely came in. He was the one that was commenting furiously, as a
Hmm.
producer does.
Hmm.
But yeah, we love it when you can join us. I did realize that we are recording Monday nights during Monday Night Football now with football season.
Yeah.
So I will give a live update on the score because most people hear, ooh, beginning of the fourth quarter, the Raiders and the Packers. The Raiders are up 17 to
Oh
13.
my. Oh
So
my.
that's probably maybe we'll have to move because of Monday Night Football. How
I
dare
guess
they
so. It's worth it to me,
schedule during our
Matt.
podcast? Yes, but we love it when you can join us live. We do recommend to catch the episodes on YouTube because then you just get all the amazing visual wonderfulness that we provide during the episode, but it's still on the podcast apps because I still, even video shows that I follow, I'll listen to them on the podcast app because it's usually easier to do it that way than have video going.
Yeah.
Um, yes, so with that, thank you everyone. Tell a friend, get out there and tech better.
Bye.